Hello, my name is Jeremy and welcome to my fishing channel. Alright, look at this baby. Boy. This is the very first video on this new channel, this new fishing endeavor, and I finally made the decision that I'm going to start a fully dedicated YouTube channel just to my fishing activities. And that's mainly because I finally came to the conclusion that most of my free time is spent in pursuit of the fish in one fashion or another. So I spend a lot of time fishing, a lot of time trying to catch the fish, a lot of time not catching any fish, and some time catching fish. So it's about time that I finally decided to just make a fully dedicated YouTube channel just specifically to it, and I hope you'll join along with me and maybe we can meet up out on the river sometime. Today being the very first video on the new channel, I just got a couple new items. This channel isn't going to be a whole lot of product reviews, generally speaking, but with some exceptions, when I get some new equipment that I get pretty stoked about, I might share that here on the YouTube channel. So today is kind of an exception. So being that we're just getting things started, I thought why not at least with these two new items that I just picked up that were a long time coming. Maybe you're looking for some information on these two products. So what we have here today is two items from Patagonia. I got a new set of waders and a new set of boots. So we're going to take a look at both of these, kind of compare them to what I'm currently running, and just give you some of my thoughts on these items. So one thing that I want to point out here is that I've just been fly fishing for probably 7 years or something like that, and I've been fishing overall for, I don't know, going on about 20 years or more. I mean, being a steady regular fisherman, I consider myself a beginner fisherman in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to fly fishing. It's like, you know, when the day's right, anybody can catch fish, but there is so much to know and so much to learn. So I want to just right here from the outset introduce myself as not somebody who has a lot of experience or really knows what they're talking about or is really a great fishing guide. In fact, if you are a pretty experienced fisherman, a fishing guide, someone who really knows what they're doing, you're probably going to not want to watch a whole lot of videos on this channel. But my hope here is that potentially to introduce fly fishing maybe to some people that maybe are new to it or just considering doing it, or otherwise beginners really, on one hand, just to kind of show how accessible it really is. And at some point I'll make a video kind of showing what equipment I purchased to get things started. And, you know, as we go along, we'll just talk through some of the equipment that I use, some of the minimums, bare minimums, or I'm somewhat of a minimalist with my equipment. I just have a small chest pack. I've long since gotten rid of my big vests and all that other stuff, so you really don't need a whole lot of equipment and gear. And in a future video, I'll kind of show you my basic layout. On my other channels, I've spent a lot of time on my motorcycle, my BMW GS Adventure, using it in a lot of ways as a tool, as a means to an end, to go fishing. So I'll show you kind of how I have my equipment strapped on and what all I take in that fashion on a motorcycle. But anyway, this channel is going to kind of be geared more towards beginner fishermen. So I also should point out that I don't just discriminate against any other type of fishing. I love all sorts of fishing. I'll fish from my canoe very rarely, or my kayak. I'll do bank fishing, big river fishing. It all just totally depends on where I'm at. And I do prefer to fly fish for a number of reasons, which is a philosophical video maybe we can get into later. But just point is, I love all fishing, love catching all sorts of fish. And one of the best parts about fishing is that, you know, 80% of this planet is covered by water. There's always some body of water nearby, a pond, a lake, a stream, an ocean, a coastline, and there's always fish somewhere. And so there's always an adventure to be had, and that's what I find myself doing all the time. So we're going to emphasize practically on fly fishing because that's mostly what I find myself doing, but we'll certainly have plenty of opportunities to do every other sort of fishing along the way. Let me talk about real quick about the current gear that I'm running. About a year ago, I did upgrade to these Sims boots. And these are great boots, they really are. They're Let's see if I can figure out what they're called. Nope, the tag doesn't say anything on them. I'll try to figure out what they're called, but they've been excellent boots. They got Vibram or Vibram soles, and really flexible, and just kind of a quick go fast shoe. These are the first set of shoes, boots, that I have upgraded to after running my corkers, my first boa laced corkers for the first 6+ years of my fly fishing. And those boots, they lasted, you know, long enough, but they just kind of began to break down. So I've been really satisfied over the last year with these guys. I just love how quick and easy they are. They kind of feel like you're running in tennis shoes. And on that, to that point, it's like, if you are a beginner and you're looking at just, you know, setting out your budget, you could run tennis shoes. you could run maybe a little bit oversized tennis shoes on your fishing waders, or just get out there in your shorts and your Tevas or whatever. Okay, so anyway, these sim shoes I plan to use pretty extensively still, and they do have a relatively small packable form factor, and I do like them quite a bit. I expect to get at least another year or two out of them, I hope, before I have to replace those. So anyways, these here are my Rustic Ridge waders. Okay, you generally see beginner fly fishermen wearing this exact set of waders because they're available probably on Amazon, Sportsman's Warehouse, wherever. They're kind of distinguishable by the dark green butt and the dark green knees down to the shins, but yeah, they've got their Gore-Tex type material, which is pretty much similar to what Patagonia is going to have here. These are not Gore-Tex waders, but the point is, I did buy 2 of these back 7 years ago. It might be more like 8 years ago, I don't know, but they've lasted me, and I have repaired a couple different spots. You know, what you're going to find is your feet are going to get wet in these things. If anybody knows, or what we're going to find out with these Patagonia ones, is whether or not there is any such thing as waterproof waders that actually keep your feet dry. I've never found them. Anyway, you can get the little UV repair gel from your fishing store, and you can patch holes in it, and I've done that over the years. But you can see these things here have they've done their job, but they're just kind of breaking down. And the biggest problem I have with these things after all these years is just that the shoulder harnesses are bungee. I mean, you can see how many times bungee is just never a good solution in the long term. You know, it's got a basic hand warmer pocket, place to put your cell phone. It's got a semi-water resistant pocket here, and then a flap out pocket to put your car keys or whatever, right? So they're real basic, bare bones. I don't know, maybe somewhere around the $150 range, maybe much less, I can't recall, but they did okay. But I'm just kind of tired of having them hang down and sag down. So the webbing suspender types is probably the #1 factor that I'm looking forward to the most of these new ones. Okay, because they have a webbing to where once you lash it up here, it's not sagging down anymore. So that's the biggest reason why I wanted to upgrade. So real quick, let's talk about the boots. We'll talk about these waders here again in a second. So these are built by Danner fly fishing boots. Super awesome. Danner's a great company. They produced a lot of combat boots. I still have a lot of my old Army combat boots from Danner, and these are a great boot. So hopefully the light's cooperating here, but you can see these things in many ways they just resemble combat boots in a way. They're called the River Salt boot, and they come with an extra set of laces. They come with a set of hardware cleats to screw in if you're really into that sort of thing. I've never had to do that. It says right here, made in the USA. River Salt wading boots. Okay. I did pick both of these items up here recently from the Fish Heads Fly Shop up in Heber City, Utah. It's kind of en route to back and forth to work where I go, and it's a fly shop that I've began to drop quite a bit of money on. But these things here, like I said, they are made in the USA. They've got a nice big sturdy sole that can be replaced. Vibram can be replaced. which is really cool. I was just looking for something that's kind of sturdy and soft, and I practically probably could have gotten by with my other Danner combat boots, to be completely honest with you. But these are going to be quite a bit more sturdy than these shoes here, and they're quite a bit larger. But you know what you need to keep in mind is your fishing shoes have to kind of double in purpose as hiking boots too. Hiking shoes, they got to be comfortable and they got to be durable. And so there's different applications, right? But I'm really looking forward to these shoes. They're going to be pretty darn sweet. I'll use them in places where I'm gonna have to trek through some pretty rough terrain to get to and from, and they're just going to be big, solid, sturdy boots. Yeah, they look pretty freaking sweet. Now, moving on to the Patagonia men's Swiftcurrent Expedition zip front waders. These were the nicest waders available in the store. And I stopped in there probably almost 3 months ago and spotted this set and was kind of saving up for them, and finally decided to go into spring for both of these items at the same time. So that ticket item was the most I've ever spent on fly fishing gear or fishing gear at all, ever. And so, you know, it's been a while, so it's time to finally upgrade to something pretty nice. And yeah, these things are going to be pretty freaking sweet. Nice cool sticker, or the logo, Patagonia fish logo, which everybody loves. Plenty of those stickers adorning my motorcycle top box. Anyway, a cool color, dark gray, and you know, this is just one of those things. The price tag on these things, oh look, they even include the Aqua Seal UV hole patch repair, and they also have a couple of patches in there as well. And you know, Patagonia says right here on the box, I mean, they have the ironclad guarantee, which I think is pretty awesome. These guys stand behind their product. It says it right there. If you're not satisfied, or you know, if there's any sort of breakdown in craftsmanship, just bring it back in for either repair or replacement. I mean, that's pretty awesome. We got our tags right here, of course, the features, yada yada yada. But the main thing, like I said, for me on these particular ones is this here webbing suspender system. Okay, it is freaking awesome. You got these different spots, these different adjustments that you can set. You can go all the way up the front there, several different positions, all the way down to the bottom, I guess, if you're a real tall guy. Once you have that set, you've got this sweet little buckle right here. Lift it up, and you can lower the entire front. So I should probably just go ahead and put these things on to show you, but let's look through them again before I stick them on. So anyway, when you spend this much money on a product, of course it's going to have that really nice feel to it. This part right here, I guess, this part right here, they have knee pads that are cushioned knee pads, which are pretty cool because I find myself on my knees a lot out there when you're tying on flies or for whatever other reason. Okay, their skirts have a nice little reinforcement right along the inside of the boot area. A nice big thick bungee all the way around. A nice clip that you'll have for your boot laces. And it goes, you know, you can pull them a long ways up. Look at that. That's freaking sweet. So neoprene boots, and this comes, I think, in the size 11 type shoe, up to a size 11 on this particular size. So I'm not the greatest product reviewer. Sorry if that's exactly what you came here for, but you know, by having that webbing going all the way across all of the straps, there is a section of bungee in the back that could potentially wear out, I suppose. But even then, you know, it's secured to the base, to the back, and hopefully that'll hold up a long time. And if it breaks down, then I'll probably just sew in a new piece of webbing right there. So those are the main features on this here particular pair of set of waders. It comes with a nice belt, full belt with a bungee back, their nice logo on it. And okay, let me put them on right quick. And it's, it's after 5. It's almost 6 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm at the base of Ogden Canyon here in Utah, where I live. And I'm going to try to zip back up this canyon and actually get a little fishing session in this evening. So I'll go ahead and put these things on and then show them to you real quick, and then we'll get headed up the canyon and maybe we'll get lucky and catch a fish today. One second thought, I'm not going to go ahead and suit up just yet until I get up to the waters, but so instead what I will show you is the main features here are the zip up front. Okay, I mean, that's so nice to zip completely up, zip down so you can handle your business while you're out there on the river. You've got nice big belt loops here. You've got a zip up closable pocket big enough to stick your piece in if you need to, or any other items. Nice zippers throughout. Another pocket here, it looks like. Yeah, so there's like double pockets on both sides. Okay, and one other kind of neat feature, last neat feature, I guess you've got your bungee around the top ring, around the top, but one major nice feature is it's got a built-in waterproof wallet pouch that just goes right here along your left side. Nice Ziploc zipper type deal, seal, and a Velcro flap over. So it'll be good for your wallet and your keys. And then that kind of tucks in right here into this other flap. So there's kind of like a piece of webbing, not webbing, whatever, material, stretchy neoprene material on both left and right sides. That I guess you could kind of stuff a couple quick things in. You're not going to want to put anything loose that's going to maybe fall out. But anyway, you stick your wallet and your stuff in there, flip it right down in here. And how sweet is that? So there you go. Just a quick down and dirty of my new gear, and it's been a long time coming, man. Been running on these old waders for far too long. They did well enough, but it's nice to finally have the means to upgrade. So let's head up this canyon and see if we can't catch a fish today. So anyways, yeah, talking about why do I even want to make a YouTube channel about fishing? Let's be honest, it's because I love to hear the sound of my own voice. Don't we all? No, I'm just kidding. But I find myself out there fishing a lot, and I like to capture the scenery and the locations and just capture the adventure, and I like to catalog it for my own personal uses, but also I like to share that. So I kind of find myself out there filming short clips, filming the beautiful fish I get my hands on, and the locations, and then I come home and I don't really have much to do with it. So having an actual dedicated channel just for the specific content is going to be a creative outlet, something I look forward to doing. And so I tend to travel for work all over the place, all throughout these western states, and I almost always have my fishing gear with me. I mean, that's a big part of my journey and my life, and yeah, hopefully some folks take some interest in that, and maybe hopefully you enjoy some of the scenery and some of the content. And I'm also hoping, as I mentioned a minute ago, that I'm far from a great fisherman at all. I've never paid for a guide to teach me anything. Everything I've learned was after being kind of shown the basics of how to cast from a couple friends up in Alaska. Everything's just basically self-taught. Maybe some YouTube videos. I've gotten into tying some of my own flies, dabbled in that a little bit. It's pretty enjoyable, but it's a bit of a taxing process, and in the right settings, when you have that kind of time on your hands, it's a beautiful thing to do. I certainly enjoy it, but it's time consuming, pretty involved process to have all the equipment and tools. But what was I saying? Just just that, yeah, I'm just a beginner fisherman still, even though I've been doing it for a lot of years. I feel like there's so much that I don't know about fishing and so much that I don't know about fly fishing. So perhaps through this process of me kind of cataloging and documenting things, especially opening up to the community in the comments section and maybe getting to know some other fishermen out there, which has panned out for me on my other YouTube channels, maybe I'll learn something along the way. Maybe my fishing will improve quite a bit. But a lot of times, you go out there and you have a lot of great days in a row, and you really get on the fish, and life is great. But I don't think it matters how many years you've been fishing. There's going to be plenty of days where you don't catch shit. So it's kind of like one thing I think I intend to do is start an entire series with a playlist where I'll build upon chapter after chapter on those days when you don't catch fish. And I'm just going to title that one How Not to Catch Fish. So, in theory, if you take what I've done on that particular day and you apply the opposite, your chances of actually catching fish increase substantially. That's my theory. So there'll be a lot of content to go around, and just an average guy probably rambles entirely too much. And anyway, hoping to make some friends and entertain you along the way in the process. So here we are at a pull-off in my beloved Ogden Canyon. I'm going to do my best not to spill the beans on all my favorite spots, obviously, and Lord knows no one likes it when you blow up the spot. And so it's always a touchy situation when you clue everybody in on where the fishing spots are. But sorry to tell you, that's the world we live in, and it's kind of like, sorry to tell you, the secret's out. We live in the freaking internet age, and I'm not going to tell you exactly where to go fish or where the honey holes are, but it's a body of water in the region that I live in. Reasonable assurity that I'm probably fishing on. So hopefully you don't get super offended if I blow up your spot. I'll do my best not to. But anyway, we're here to the fishing waters. This is probably my favorite spot in my local area here, because it is only about 15 minutes from my house, and it's a beautiful stretch of water. It's about 6 miles long, maybe 8 miles long at the most. I get up here into the canyon because all the regular spinning fishermen are down there in the flats down in town, and the few times I fished down there, I just never had any freaking luck. So I mean, the big draw to me to fly fishing, or most all fishing, but specifically fly fishing, is just the pursuit of getting out there and finding solitude and being totally immersed in nature. You can take a hike, climb to a mountain peak, stand on a summit. That's totally epic. In my case, which I do that sometimes, but in my case, I like to kind of wade around in beautiful streams and put my hands on some beautiful fish. And so just to kind of reconnect to nature. I do that all the time. So anyway, here we are at my kind of closest local favorite fishing water. So let's go see if I can actually pull one in today. We'll see. Now, I did say solitude. It is noisier than hell in this stretch of water, but in this stretch of canyon, but once you get down in the water, you can't hear it a whole lot. It's getting late. Better get after it. All right, so a little bit noisier over here, but some better lighting so you can kind of get a better shot of these beautiful Danner boots. Patagonia right on the back, your Vibram soles, and it looks like those little holes are there for you to screw in your cleats too. Okay, kind of a neoprene lining on there. I wear 10.5 size shoes, so these fit pretty good at size 11 for me in the store anyway. And then the waders here are LRM, large, regular, medium. Who knows what that means, but anyway, they fit pretty good, and they are in the 9 to 11 foot size, US men's. And then these are my 11 size boots, right? Okay, first off, the 9 to 11s, man, there's a lot of excess material here. So I was going to mention, I'm a 6 foot dude, weigh about 205, 210 pounds. And so that's why I got this size, if you're trying to figure out what size fits you. But they seem to be pretty good, but there is a fair amount of excess here on the heel. a lot of room. So supposedly 9 to 11s. I don't know about that. And I just don't know if I had tried a size whatever, the next size down up to size 8, I guess, probably wouldn't have worked. But anyway, it's just really roomy in the neoprene booties. I do like the lace-up boots over any boas. I've just not had good luck with boas. It's not a bad system, I guess, when they work right. You know, I've had them on snowboard boots, this or that and the other. But there's just, you can't go wrong with tried and true laces, in my opinion. So I really appreciate that on those other Sims boots as well. So having gotten 7+ years, I don't know how many years actually it's been, of usage out of these other waders, man, I'm really hoping with the money I spent on these ones, they should last a good long time. So you can see the extra cushion right here in the knees. Feels really nice. Felt really nice kneeling down, at least in the store. I'd say these waders are pretty darn roomy overall, to be honest. Now, of course, every brand out there has their own take on Gore-Tex, right? So this is their company's take on Gore-Tex. You can see it. Hopefully it's about as effective as Gore-Tex. We'll find out, but you know, it gets pretty warm around here where I live fishing, so hopefully this particular in-house brand Gore-Tex fits the bill. But look, having a zip right here in the front, that's so nice, man. A nice little recess for your zipper to go right there. Kind of locks right in. Big old handy YKK zipper right there. Nice little snap. And of course, you know, it's just top quality feel of the textiles. So I'm hoping these will be the last set of waders I have to buy for a long time, especially with that ironclad guarantee. I don't know, 6, 7, 10 years maybe? We'll see. But yeah, pretty darn roomy, I gotta be honest, pretty darn roomy. Okay, waterproof pocket right there. Stick the wallet right in there. Probably should put the keys. I'll tell you a funny story about when I was over there in Colorado a month or so back when my Subaru's key fob got totally wet. The damn car alarm was going off in the parking area where I was at. I had to pop the hood, rip the freaking battery off just to get the damn thing to shut up. Then disassemble my freaking key fob, let it dry out before I could even get going again, man. What a hassle. All right, hopefully you can see that. So we're just here dealing with the main adjustment. Because I hated how much those other ones sagged down, I'm gonna just go ahead and set these up really freaking high and then I'll adjust them down at some future point. I got that one almost to the, yeah, I guess to the very top one here. And then, of course, you've got your ability to pop those and then the whole thing can slide down. So you can handle your business, slide it back up, buckles right down. So much pocket room too, man. You know, there was quite a few of them there to choose from, some nice Sims ones and some other Patagonia ones. Well, this one has probably the most pockets, most different individual pockets. And yeah, those are individual pockets. So it's just full of features, you know. So freaking nice, dude. We'll get into my whole fishing equipment array another time, but like I said, just minimal. One little chest pack is all it takes. This is new to me because I recently lost my other nice $100+ fishing net because I procrastinated getting the freaking lanyard. I had the magnetic attachment, which was $25 for it, but I kept meaning to get the damn lanyard and I blew it. Lost that damn thing on that same trip where my car alarm was going off over in Colorado. So lesson learned. I think I better throw my new 5X at least in the pack. 5X is totally key, at least for the size of fish generally around here where I'm fishing. So let's get down on the water and see if we can't pull a trout out. Mostly this river is full of brown trout. Occasionally you might find a rainbow in here, but not too often. All right, been here 10 minutes now. So far I've had one interested party right there. Came up, slapped it, and then he hasn't been back. So the water's a bit discolored. It's moving, it's not moving raging very fast, but it's moving fast enough to make things a little bit challenging. Let me get down here to another little run and see if I can't pull one in. About got a hatch going on here of some sort. Yeah, these waters, it's kind of tough fishing, I gotta be honest. I mean, the water's moving pretty good. There are some pools, but the water's just moving so swift. I'm gonna be really damn lucky if I can pull one in today. All right, man. So, I can't always promise we're gonna catch fish, you guys, and I can't always promise I'm gonna film every one of my outings, but you know, when it's real pretty and scenic like this, I might try my best. So, I'll at least share that with you. And when I was just about to tie up my fly, generally the dark-bellied deer-haired caddis is the go-to around here, but man, I dropped that sucker in the dirt while I was getting ready to tie it up, so I had to switch to a lighter colored one. And it's not getting a lot of action. I might go and switch to another dark colored one. But man, the water is just swift enough that coming down through that run right there, man, I took a little bit. So anyway, let's see if we can get one. We got a little bit of daylight left. Sure would be nice. All right, you guys, so I've come downstream, fishing the whole way, about, real quick, let's look at this little caddis right here. Oh man, brown caddis fly. And so, I've pretty much reached the point where I've only been on the same fly. If I can't catch fish in this stretch of water right here, then I'm not gonna be able to catch fish. So, it's time to pretty much settle into one spot with the waning hours of the day, waning minutes of the day, I should say, and try a few different flies. So the green-bellied caddis was not the winning ticket today. There are a lot of really light-colored caddis flying around, so maybe this guy's a little too big. What I want to do is try my basic fly load out here. I want to try I'll probably come back to a Parachute Adams, but I'm going to try a really small caddis, but I don't have a black-bellied one anymore. Apparently I freaking lost them all. No, I took them off. I got one there over here. So we're moving to a much smaller black-bellied caddis fly. And hopefully I don't freaking lose this one like I did his brother. So I'm really hoping that was the ticket. It's just that other guy was a little bit too big. Okay, I'm pretty damn sure we threw flies in front of where the fish are. So time to switch to a different fly. So we tried the green-bellied caddis, probably in a 14 or something like that. And we tried the really small black caddis. We're going to try some blue-winged olives, some BWOs, the Parachute Adams. Those are the next two I'm going to try, and then And then I'm gonna try a couple of these terrestrial, some ants, flying bugs, flying insects, and by then we're practically gonna be done for the day. And we're not even gonna try to nymph today. I mean, I did see that one fish come up before that caddis when I first got here, so I mean, somebody's interested in eating on the top. So I'm gonna stick with dry flies on this outing, and like I said, we're kind of don't have a whole lot of time left, so let's see what happens. We got a pretty healthy sized, I don't know what size it is, 14, 16 something, but blue-winged olive, and a pretty big sized guy. I'm gonna put some floating on it. Just a little dab will do you. And who knows, this might be the winning one. Let's go. Let's go see. Oh, is that a fish that just jumped right there? What the hell? Wow, this is probably the most intense feeding frenzy, bug hatch I've seen on these waters, definitely at least so far this year. You got gnats, you got what look like caddis. All sorts of stuff going on. Dang, look at these guys. It's nuts. If I stick it out long enough, man, it's gonna be fish on. Crack the code on this thing though. Oh well, you guys, I'm gonna move downriver just a wee bit more, hit up some of these little pools on the sides. Maybe I'll have some action by the end of the day, but even if I don't, it sure was a glorious afternoon down here. And thanks for giving me somebody to talk to myself and maybe somebody to listen, so I can talk about some fishing. Jesus, man, I've seen some pretty intense hatches, but this is a full-blown swarm. Look at that. Almost looks like a swarm of bees. If I can't pull a trout out from right there, then I'm obviously doing it all wrong. So, oh man, finally. I should have put the camera down on this rock over here and caught it, because this dude was getting aerobatical. Not a big guy, a little guy, but still happy to have him. You don't get a lot of real big guys here on this stretch of the Ogden River. When you catch a good 14 plus ish size fish, that's a big boy. So, you know, 10 inches and thereabouts is pretty average around through here. This guy over here. Ooh, baby. What a little beauty. He's a slender little fella. Brown trout. Beautiful. Look at that little guy. Awesome. Whoop. Easy does it. Yeah, dude. He was like in the depth of the riffle there, not over in the flats. He wasn't where I expected him to be, that's for sure. We're gonna make it work. Yeah, still got a little bit of daylight left. Might be able to pull a bit bigger one out of here, but what a beauty. Thanks for playing around. Thanks for playing the game today, big fella. Now go grow up and get bigger. Ah, yeah, he's good. She's good. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I know I keep saying it that we're running out of daylight, and we really are. I think the sun's just about to set, but I'll cruise down here and then I'll just take the road back up to the truck. But it's funny because, you know, this is a spot where you certainly should be able to pull out a pretty hefty boy. He's just, there's a couple big ones in here and they're just not interested. They're just not playing today. So it's like, this was a stretch of water that I'm not sure if I've fished this exact last couple hundred yards. Of the 6 miles-ish on this river, I've probably fished maybe 4 miles of it. There's still some stretches that I haven't touched, but none of these spots right through here are any of my known honey holes. So no telling whether or not, if I had gone to any of those, they would have produced anything today or not. But always discovering, always searching for a new spot, huh? Yeah, this canyon's a bit busy, a bit noisy, motorcycles up and down all the time. For that reason, it's not my very favorite, most secluded area, but still, it is my home river and it usually does pretty well. I'm gonna set this camera up right here because I'm really thinking this will probably be the last pool I fish today, and I think I might actually be able to pull one out of here. So let's try to sneak this over here, see what happens. Whew. All right, no luck, people. Fishing's kind of funny like that. Sometimes it's like, well, you're pretty darn sure where the fish are, and the tactics you're trying relatively generally work pretty well, and for one reason or another, it's just not working out. So that's how it goes. Today's just one of those days where, man, even just one fish kept us from having a total bust. Totally worth it, so nice, even if I didn't catch any fish. I wasn't really even setting out to fish today, but I'm always trying to take advantage of the opportunity, keep all my gear with me generally in my truck or on my bike. And yeah, there's any number of reasons why they might not have been biting today, but for the most part, the biggest reason is this water is just a little bit too high. It's not crazy high, but it's just high enough to be tricky. So maybe it would have been a better day for nymphing, but as you'll find in my future videos, when we get to the point of nymphing, it's not my strong suit for sure. Got a lot to learn about nymphing. Even the basics, it's like, try all the basics and very rarely does it ever work. So anyway, man, yeah, it's been a nice day. I'm gonna head back now. As far as the gear goes, yeah, the pants are really sweet. The waders, I should say. The boots are really nice too. They're a bit on the large side, so that's why I really like those Sims shoes, because they just feel like quick shoes. But these things are going to be pretty awesome too, and I'm sure they're going to last a long time. Everything felt really good for my size and everything. They did loosen up, so I got to work on that double knot, make sure they're cinched down pretty well. But you know, being their first time out and getting soft with the water expansion stuff, had to tighten them up, but pretty pleased with them so far. And yeah, stay tuned. Maybe I'll give a follow-up review on these things here after I put them to use for a little while. So it's just gonna be a little bit of a hike back up to the truck, maybe, I don't know, 150 yards, 200 yards at most. We're just gonna go find a little spot right over there, climb up, get on the highway, and head on back. But man, this is gonna be a long damn video, and I'm gonna upload practically all of it. So if you're into that sort of thing, glad to have you along. And looking forward to taking the camera along and going on some new adventures and exploring some new areas. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. Maybe I'll see you out there on the river. Leave a comment below if you got any questions, or if you did subscribe, that'd be awesome to let me know who you are, where you came from, and any thoughts you might have on today's little fishing episode. So we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.